There was also a Game Boy version and a PC version of the game that plays differently from the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox version. But for this video, I'll be talking specifically.
Hey, you. You're finally awake.
I was just
Trying to cross the border. Walked right into that Imperial ambush.
SpongeBob was my favourite cartoon as a kid. I was so obsessed with it, I actually bought SpongeBob magazines from Tesco, which, now that I look back on it, were completely useless. I don't have the magazines anymore, but they basically included a couple puzzles, some fan art, and a couple comics that were ripped straight from an episode. Though they did come with a neat toy with each issue, which was, the main prize. And it also reminds me of the time when I was a kid at Tesco's, looking at one of the magazines, when I noticed it was missing a toy. I found it on the ground, so I picked it up and played with it a little. Then out of nowhere, a security guard came towards me and accused me of stealing the toy, to which I replied with, "Hey, I just saw this on the ground, and I picked it up out of curiosity." Nah, just kidding, I was like 6, so I was probably like, But enough about the Dawn magazines, we're here to talk about the Dawn video games. And while you'd think that me being a huge SpongeBob fan, I would have played Battle for Bikini Bottom, but nope. Instead, I got SpongeBob SquarePants the movie, the video game. Now, funny thing, the video game was actually released a month before the movie, at least in North America. I'd say this was probably for advertisement purposes, but it's a full-length game where the plot is a one-for-one copy of the movie. So it seems kind of weird to spoil the entire movie for players before the actual movie came out. There was also a Game Boy version and a PC version of the game that plays differently from the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox version. But for this video, I'll be talking specifically about the PS2 version because that's the one I played. Who knows, I might make another video about the Game Boy PC version, you never know, whee! Speaking of the PS2 version, when I first thought of making this video, I had no idea how fucking complicated it would be to set everything up. See, I wanted to capture my gameplay on my PS2, but I didn't have the necessary cables to do so. So, I ordered the right cables as well as a converter to convert composite into HDMI. The order arrived, but the converter I got was wrong as it converts HDMI into composite. Then I ordered the right converter this time, waited a couple of days for the converter to come, set everything up and got ready to record only to come across this.
Let's get it on!
After everything I went through, this problem was literally unsolvable because it had to do with my actual capture card. So after crying for a while, I just emulated the game on PC. Here we are in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, the video game. An interesting thing to note right off the bat is that the intro, I don't really know what to call it, the intro uses what looks like placeholder assets. So you know that this game was possibly rushed in order to release in time with the movie. But enough about that, let's just jump straight into the new game and load the very first level! The problems aren't over as I had to sift through countless forums because the first level wouldn't fucking load. But now that the game is working, let's talk about it, shall we? The movie is quite similar to its predecessor, Battle for Bikini Bottom, in terms of core mechanics. Except where Battle for Bikini Bottom was a collectathon with hub worlds and open areas, the movie's levels are quite linear and as a result are much shorter. Yet they still managed to bulk this game up to a good 7 to 10 hours of playtime. They do this by splitting the gameplay up into 4 different styles: platforming, driving, sliding, and bosses. Along with this, they also add some extra challenges you're able to do after you unlock a certain skill, as well as collectibles, which allows for good replay value for the levels. Speaking of which, let's go through them, starting with the first level, No Cheese. Hey, there's our hero. The first level actually guides the player quite well, whilst not feeling like a tutorial level. When you start, you immediately see a bunch of weights that form a path, leading you in the right direction. After climbing up some boxes, you come across a pretty charming cutscene of Patrick murdering a jellyfish in cold blood. Oh god, what did you do, Patrick? Oh no. Yeah, that cutscene basically shows you can attack enemies. While I would complain about the fact that the flow of the game is broken apart just to show a cutscene of someone doing a basic move, it's a children's game. I don't really have room to complain. And with that, we finished the first level. Not a bad start, honestly. What the fuck is this shit?
Manager of this establishment. Everything is gonna be just fine.
You see, this confused the hell out of me when I was playing, as the game tells you the story in two ways. In-game cutscenes and a weird PowerPoint presentation slideshow that takes screenshots straight from the movie. I don't understand why they went with both ways and not one or the other, but anyways, that's all I'm going to say about the story because that's all there is to say. It's the plot of the movie. Next level, I'm ready, depression. Wow, that is a big mood. In the second level, you take control of Patrick, who, in my opinion, is the more fun character to play.
You have got to try this new dot room game.
I fucking hate that I genuinely laughed at this moment when I played it. You know, I actually gotta commend the cutscenes for actually showing what the enemies can do, as well as anything else of importance, while still keeping it entertaining.
Missed you guys.
Make you feel like Spiderman? Here we find Mindy, who shouldn't even know SpongeBob and Patrick until after Plankton steals the crown. Actually, you should take a look at this scene.
Good luck, SpongeBob.
Wait, how did you know my name?
Oh, I'm gonna be queen of the sea one day. I've learned the names of all the sea creatures.
Okay, fine, no one likes a smarty pants.
You're hot.
Mindy tells you about Goofy Goober tokens, which are basically the rewards you get for completing a level, or the different challenges in a level. Some levels have multiple challenges in them, meaning you'll have to replay them a couple of times to get the required tokens, which you'll need to do as progressing further will require more and more tokens. I'll talk about tokens later on because I've said tokens way too many times. Here we see our first challenge, the combat challenge. These spike up difficulty in later levels until the very last level, which bamboozled the fuck out of me. But these offer a nice challenge and a good break from the main story. Sandwich Driving 101. Here we see our first driving level, and honestly these are pretty fun for the first time. I want to talk about the driving levels and sliding levels in depth later on because I really ended up hating them the more I played. So stay tuned for that. 3,000 miles to Shell City. This level also has another type of challenge, the rolling challenge, where you control SpongeBob in a monkey ball-esque fashion to get to the end where you get a token. Not gonna lie, every single rolling challenge is piss easy. Moving on. There are also in-level challenges you can do that won't take you to some mysterious abyss with floating objects. I'll call these mini challenges. This level in particular has the bungee challenge. To complete it, you have to dive into targets, and I'm sorry, but I have to censor this because you see SpongeBob's butt. Finally, we have our last challenge in the level. This is the jumping challenge, where you take control of Patrick and basically have to jump. What else is there to say? It's literally some extra platforming. They're a little more challenging than the rolling challenges, as you're on a timer, which just adds more stress when you accidentally fall and the timer doesn't reset. But even if you fall a few times, it's still very possible to complete the challenge in one go. Rub-a-dub-dub, slip slide in the tub. Rub-a-dub-dub, slip slide in the tub. Rub-a-dub-dub, slip slide in the tub. This was actually my favorite level as a little piece of shit, and when I first played it again for this video, it still was. Mainly for one reason. This is also our first sliding level. I don't know where the paddy wagon has been for the last two levels, but apparently it's been replaced by a bathtub, which SpongeBob and Patrick are both in. Hey, I'm not judging. Anyways, I'll get to you later, so get out of here, you lump of turd. Bubble blowing baby hunt. This is the only thing of importance in this level. No weenie parking anytime. Another driving stage where you need to obtain all the keys around the map to get to the finish. No. I'll talk about you later. I'll let you pet Mr. Whiskers, our first boss fight of the game. And my god, it is so easy. You don't even have to worry about getting hit.
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
At least the music's pretty cool. Rock slide. More like rock slide out of here.
Shell City, dead ahead.
Honestly, there's not much to say about this level. It's really just about introducing Patrick's new throwing ability and using that to advance. This new ability also unlocks additional mini challenges now that you're able to pick stuff up, like ice cubes so that you can throw them in lava in the previous level.
Names.
Again, boss fight is way too easy. Sunday driving. This is a filler level that's not a part of the movie. At this point, SpongeBob and Patrick are taken away by the Cyclops and are unconscious, so this is their collective dream, I guess? Honestly, it feels kind of forced and last minute, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, mainly because this is a children's game and my 5-year-old ass just like the pretty driving. For some reason, these weird cutscenes shift from screen caps of the movie to them being either really low quality or photoshopped together with PNG files you can find on Google Images.
Shell City? What a horrible place! But don't worry, there must be a way out.
Oh god, what's happening?
Crown.
Are you?
It seems to be fine now.
Yeah, we are the manliest of men.
Oh boy. Alright, let me try and fix this. I had to worsen the quality for this stage to make it playable, but it's just another sliding level that we'll discuss in more detail, so bye!
How are we gonna get back to Bikini Bottom?
I can take you there.
Oh wait, who are you? That's not David Hasselhoff.
Who are you?
I'm not a lifeguard, but I play one on TV.
They don't even say he's David Hasselhoff. What? The movie comes out in a month. He would have obviously recorded that part in the movie, so why is it not in the game? Dennis comes back, this time on Hasselhoff's hairy ass, actual ass back. Unfortunately, this shit's also way too easy. SpongeBob gets a guitar and I am bad at using it. But this offers the last mini challenge you can do in levels. It's a bit similar to one of the challenges for the driving and sliding stages, so I'll talk more about it then. Okay, I absolutely hated this part because the part where you wall jump horizontally just doesn't work sometimes. I hope they don't continue this later on. Oh, for fuck's sake. Drive of the Knucklehead McSpazatron.
SpongeBob, you've got enough Goopy Goober tokens for me to bring back the paddy wagon.
I do? Oh, that's great.
Oh wait, they actually left that in there? This one's pretty interesting because the level layout is basically the reverse of Sandwich Driving 101. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. This is the final level, final boss. You face against King Neptune, who is being controlled by Plankton. Unlike the previous boss fights, this one is actually challenging and fun. I died a couple times, which unfortunately ruined the flow for me because it would have felt super badass staying alive during the second phase, where things get more intense but also more hopeful as Goofy Goober Rock starts playing and your blood starts rushing and you feel pumped as fuck. God damn, this game is not healthy for me. After deleting After defeating Neptune, you completed the game. Woo! Here's a single Goofy Goober token, because who the fuck wants an actual reward? Speaking of which, let's talk about those tokens finally. Now, I said before that acquiring a certain number of tokens unlocks the next level, meaning you would have to repeat some levels and complete the challenges in order to beat the game. Me overestimating my ability to be competent at playing video games, I decided to 100% this game, which meant collecting all tokens and all extras. Now, this would have been completely fine, as the jumping, rolling and combat stages were pretty simple, and the mini challenges like the 18+ bungee challenge and the
Ice
challenge were also quite easy to accomplish. What wasn't easy were the challenges you had to complete for the driving and sliding levels, which led me to hate the fuck out of them. Now, I want to give a heads up, playing these levels for the first time is actually very fun, as all you're caring about is getting to the finish line. But when you have to hear the same song over and over and over again, and play the same level over and over and over again, you know, it can get tiresome. It can get frustrating. It can tempt you to pull out the souls of the damned and resurrect the devil because you no longer have the will to live. And yeah, sure, you can chop this up to just, "Aw, Ash is just bad at playing games, boo-hoo." No. The driving and sliding levels have 3 challenges that you can complete: a time trial, a ring challenge, and a harder time trial. Now, the first time trials for these levels are fine. They give you a nice edge to the course, since the time limit adds pressure, but it's totally doable. These 2? No, fuck them. Let's start with ring challenges. It's pretty simple, you just have to go through the rings in the course, except the placement of these rings are guaranteed to make you fail on your first try. And when you have multiple rings in one challenge, you'll have multiple chances to fail, which means you have to start off from the beginning. Every single time.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Another thing is you don't know where the next ring will spawn until you pass through the previous one, which would be fine if they didn't pull shit like this in SpongeBob's guitar challenges, where you'd expect the ring to appear in front of you and for some reason it's gone on vacation to the fucking moon. I hate the rings! The macho time challenges are just unfair, especially for the level Rock Slide. You actually cannot complete this challenge by any normal means and would need to make outlandish shortcuts just to make it under the time. Can I get mad though? I did this to myself. Completing every single challenge isn't required, as you'll definitely have enough tokens when you complete the easy ones to finish the game. And I gotta say sorry to my past self for ruining a perfectly good track. Why the hell is the music so bomb in this game? Moving on though, throughout the levels you would have probably noticed these green treasure chests. They're just optional collectibles you can collect, which will give you access to some extras like voice lines,
I am the trash compactor.
concept art, and costumes for both characters, which is quite oh god naked Patrick. When it comes to actually collecting these chests, it's a bit of a mixed bag. Some of them are quite simple and require you to travel off the beaten path to get them, and some of them are just hidden in such obscure places you need a walkthrough to actually know how to get them. And there is nothing in between. Oh, I was supposed to hit these toasters in 3 very different locations in the level with no indication of what they do to get a chest? Wow, I'm so stupid! Despite that, it was nice to sift through all the extras, as it reminded me of when I was a little kotta and how it really entertained me to see all these cool things. And yeah, that's the entirety of the SpongeBob movie. The video game. The video. What? Overall, the game holds up to my nostalgia greatly. And while I'm now numb to, I still think I'd be able to enjoy the driving and sliding levels if I were to play them again, just not the challenges. 100% on the game. Fucking brilliant idea, you dipshit. So, ending points. Neat game. Yeah. 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you